to get to. Mark Schlereth joins us here. He joins us each and every Tuesday at this time. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports. Mark, as always, we appreciate your time. We know that you were there on Sunday watching that San Francisco-Seattle Seahawks game. You were calling it for Fox. Lance's injury, Mark, he's done for the year, obviously. Hasn't played a lot of football the last 3 years. How concerned would you be for his development if you were the Niners? Guys, can we make sure that Mark's up?
Yeah, you got me?
Yeah, we got you.
There you are.
Yeah, no, I think you'd have to be very concerned. I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, having a conversation with Kyle Shanahan, talk to him about, how hard is it to both win and develop a quarterback? And he said, it's just extremely difficult. And so he's a super smart kid, man. He's a super smart kid. He's a super conscientious kid. But there's no substitute for playing. I mean, you got to be good at playing football. You know what you have to do. You have to play football. And he certainly hasn't had that opportunity. Now, with that said, the thing about him is his number one attribute is his athleticism, right? His ability to run and do those things. And that's how you're trying to, you be a fool, or you would do him a disservice if you took away that attribute in trying to develop him. So that's part of the deal. It's unfortunate that he got hurt. It's terrible for the kid. It's terrible for the 49ers. But like I said, he's young. I'm sure he's resilient. He's definitely smart, and he's got the right attitude. And, it's just you'll have to start over again next year from a development phase and a development standpoint. But he'll have another year once he has the surgery to sit through meetings and to continue to kind of learn it, visually. But there's no substitute for playing. So, yeah, it makes it really tough.
I want to be careful the way I ask this question, because we are talking about a guy who broke his ankle on Sunday and who has a bright future, and you obviously don't want to see – nobody wants to see that, Mark, and you hope for a quick recovery and that he ends up being the player everybody wants him to be. But did you get the sense that – not that the players were happy Jimmy G was in there and Trey Lance was hurt, but that once that offense got moving a little bit, that it brought a little life, a little bit of juice into the 49ers?
Oh, yeah, without question. I mean, they all love Trey Lance. They also, at the same time, a veteran football team or veteran players understand, at this point, who gives you the best chance to win. Like I thought, as I studied the 49ers, I studied Trey Lance, and I know the work that's ahead of him. I thought, hey, this is a football team that, is going to be fighting toward the end of the season to be 9-8 and maybe get a wild card. Like, that's how I felt about them. Now I think they're a front runner in the NFC West and a front runner in the NFC. I think they're a legit NFC West potential champion and a legit NFC, championship game type of football team, and maybe a Super Bowl contender. So I think they're that good. I think they're that talented. I think their roster is built that way. And I think certainly, this is not good for the development of Trey Lance, obviously, but it is good for championship, for a championship run. They are a better football team with Jimmy G at the helm than they are Trey Lance as currently constructed. So not that you're just excited. Jimmy G's very popular within that locker room. He's a very popular player, and they have a lot of belief in who he is as a football player and the way he's performed in the past. And they've gone to a Super Bowl with him, and they've also gone to an NFC championship last year with him. So yeah, there's no question that all of a sudden, you're more of a legit threat in the NFC because he's playing QB for you.
Mark Schlereth is with us here on this Tuesday. Mark, a lot of attention on the quarterback position for San Francisco through the first couple weeks of this season. But I want to ask you about the defense, because those guys have been overlooked through the first 2 weeks. When you were watching them on Sunday, what's their ceiling? How good do you think that side of the football can be for the Niners this year?
Well, I think they can be the best defense in football. I think, one, you look at all three levels, and they've got, superstar potential on all three levels. First off, their defensive line. They dressed 8 or 9 guys. They've got a great rotation. Obviously, Nick Bosa is just he's a freak show. I thought I might get arrested Sunday. I was standing on the football field watching him warm up, and I was just like, I was wompy jawed. Like that body is like ridiculous. Like I was gonna get arrested for loitering. It's I'm sure I made him uncomfortable, but he is like, that dude is put together like very few people I've ever seen in my entire life. At about 4% body fat and 270, and he's a great football player. Ken Law is a first rounder who's really developing into a very good football player. Eric Armstead's a great football player. I think your three linebackers are the best three linebackers in football collectively as a group. Fred Warner is unbelievable, but Greenlaw is a great player. Alshire is a really good player. They run, they hit, they're fast. I think Talanoa Hufanga is phenomenal. He's had a couple phenomenal games. I mean, their two corners can really play. I think they are legit across the board as a defense. So I think they have the potential to be the best defense in football. The other thing is there's a philosophy from D'Amico Ryans to kind of keep it simple, stupid. We don't play a lot of different defenses. We play one defense, and we play it really freaking well. And we're going to fly around and hit people. And that's kind of the way they're built. And I think they've got the potential to just be an exceptional group.
I think a lot of those guys you just named off, Mark, are guys that 49ers fans they knew. They're like, yeah, those are some really good football players. Even folks who watch the 49ers week in and week out, I think have been surprised by Talanoa Hufanga, who you brought up. And two really good games to start the season. You think that guy's the real deal?
Oh, there ain't no question. That guy is like, he has an insatiable desire to understand the game, and you can see the way he plays it with speed, with athleticism, with violence. But also he's got great processing ability, right? He's just, whatever his eyes take in, he just reacts. He doesn't have to stop and think about it. He just goes. And that's what separates you. There's a lot of great athletes. There's a lot of physically gifted players that just don't have that kind of reaction. And, some of that is God-given ability. Some of that is just, you're blessed with great anticipatory skills, and whatever you see, you just react. And that to me is the great differentiator between being good and being a great player, is your ability to process information and just go, be right, go wreck stuff. Like that's what makes you great. And Hufanga certainly has that.
One more for you, Mark. 49ers, Broncos, Sunday Night Football coming up this weekend. Obviously, you work in Denver. Not the greatest start for Russell Wilson and the Broncos offense, especially in the red zone the first 2 weeks. What have you seen from them, and what are some of the issues that they've been facing?
Well, I mean, I think, you fumble it twice in the red zone. That's never a good thing. I think you're trying to figure out, one, like, what is our identity? Who are we? And it's important as a player. It's important to know what you are, right? I think it's important as a person,
right,
just in general, to know what you are, to understand what your strengths are, to also understand what your weaknesses are, and to to maximize your strengths and mitigate as many of your weaknesses as possible. And I think there's part of them that is trying to figure out, what exactly are we? And then from an operations standpoint, like their operations standpoint, getting plays in, executing plays. I mean, this team is the most penalized team. It's the most penalized team in Broncos history through 2 game span. 25 penalties.
It's unbelievable.
2 games.
Unbelievable.
It is. And so, their operation, like getting the play in and executing the play and doing all that, they've been abysmal, just abysmal. And I think, interestingly enough, I think that you go to Seattle, you got the 12s, it's the loudest place in football to play. And I think your operation was way off, and you can rationalize it away. We had so much crowd noise, and that was the problem. And I think you get to the point where you've got this, almost like you don't credit it for what it was, right? You're just like, it's fine. That won't happen to us again. And there were legitimate issues, and you just discounted those issues because of that crowd noise and that environment you played in. And then, you go out to play again, and the same things creep up and rear their ugly head. That's an issue. And you have to fix that, because I can just tell you, when you're running up the line of scrimmage with, 6 seconds to snap it, you can't take in the information. Like, you can't see a guy that's all of a sudden 6'8", 12 inches out of where he's supposed to be, because that's one of the things as an offensive player I look at and go, oh, that guy's not supposed to be there. Like, okay, we're going to get safety rotation down here. We're going to get a blitz over here. We're going to get something.
Right.
Like, that's the stuff you look at. And you run up there with 6 seconds left. You know what you're doing? You're not looking at that stuff. You go, hurry, 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 and you're snapping the ball. And it makes you inefficient. And that's what I've seen a bunch from them so far.
Hey, Mark, real quick, I meant to ask you this last week. I think Stink is one of the great nicknames that's ever been handed out, but nicknames are a weird thing. You never know if you know a guy well enough to call him by his nickname. Can I call you Stink when we have you on week to week?
Absolutely.
Love it. All right, cool.
I just walked into my grandkid's house, and my grandson is very excited to see me.
It's all good. We'll let you go. We'll let you hang out with the grandkids.
Hi. Yes. Hi. You say that? Okay.
We'll talk to you next week, Mark. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Stink.
All right. There goes Mark Schlereth.
That's fun to say.
He'll join us each and every Tuesday.
Appreciate you.
At this time.